Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. I'm just gonna say this right now. I was not expecting to make a video about this because I was just gonna watch it in my own time and all that other stuff, but I couldn't help but to make a video about this because my brain was just telling me, dude, make a video about this. This is really good. So here I am making a video about the last video I talked about. No, it's not the Triple H video. In my last video about Pokemon, I basically said I was thinking about starting to watch the X and Y anime because I hadn't seen it yet. Well, I hadn't seen most of it. I have seen little bits of it, so I know. I majorly know what Pokemon Ash gets. I know he doesn't win the Kalos League, but outside of majority of some of the obvious stuff I already knew about, I wanted to watch the entire series from start to end, from Season 17 to Season 19. Now, I haven't watched all of it yet. I'm still getting through majority of it. So, I have to be honest, the X and Y anime has been so good. It's been fantastic. Like, I know people told me that the X and Y anime was when Pokemon finally got to actually feel like Pokemon again. And I could see the potential when I saw some of the episodes, when I watched it initially when I first started. I remember the first 7-ish episodes, and I've seen a lot of clips online. So I got the idea of it. And it definitely looked promising from a lot of the episodes I watched. So now that I've had the time to sit down and watch majority of the episodes, I've actually had time to digest what I've been thinking of it so far. It's been great. There have been a few meh episodes. There have been a few episodes that made me go, yeah, okay, fine, it's whatever. But none have been downright bad to the point where I've been like, oh god, yeah, I don't want to watch this anymore. So that's how I feel about X and Y so far. Like, there hasn't been an episode that makes me go, oh god, I don't want to keep watching. So Ash makes his way to the Kalos region in the very first episode. We meet a girl named Serena who gets woken up by Fletchling in the first episode to do her Rhyhorn racing. But she hates it because she's not a Rhyhorn racer. She doesn't really necessarily like it all that much, despite her mother wants her to follow in her footsteps. So, I'm not going to go too much into the details, but Ash meets up with the Professor Sycamore. Yeah, Sycamore's his name. He also befriends two kids by the name of Clement and Bonnie, who saved him from when he got kicked out of the Lumiose gym. Details about that will be revealed in due time. And then Sycamore does research on Mega Evolution. So that's why he has a Garchomp there. He has a Garchomp there because he knows that he possibly thinks that Garchomp could Mega Evolve. There was a Froakie that eventually befriends Ash and comes along with him on his journey. Team Rocket, being the nuisance they are, try to hurt the Garchomp Ash goes on his heroic streak of trying to save Garchomp. And that's the thing about Ash, he's always been so heroic. You know, he'll always do anything and everything in his power to protect Pokemon, and it's something worth admiring. Serena and her mother catch this whole situation on TV, and so they watch it. Ash finally sets Garchomp free of what Team Rocket did to it, but then Pikachu falls from the Lumiose Tower, the Prism Tower is what they call it, the biggest tower of Lumiose City. So a wall, the floor on the roof breaks, and an Ash heroically jumps off the building to try and save Pikachu. And Serena is mesmerized that this boy would jump off to save his Pokemon. But Ash was ultimately saved by a Mega Blaziken. After everything's settled, she saw the boy, and she recognizes him. Several episodes later, Ash catches a few Pokemon, like Froakie and even Fletchling. So, there's that. Bonnie gets a Dedenne to look after, though she's not old enough to be its trainer yet. Her brother Clement catches it, so then she can look after it. So she can raise it and look after it. But Clement does eventually catch a Chespin later on. So, Serena leaves Vanderbilt town, which is where she's from, to go see Ash. Because she remembers the boy. She believes that's the boy's name. She ends up getting Fennekin as her starter Pokemon. But eventually by episode 6, when Ash challenges the gym, the first gym, she catches up with them. Ash is in the middle of a battle with Viola, the gym leader, and he loses. He loses the first battle. Wow, that's a real shocker, right? Well, it's not entirely a shocker. Ash has definitely lost gym battles before. He lost to Brock because, well, he wasn't inexperienced then. He even lost to Lieutenant Surge, and I think he also lost to Sabrina. So 3 losses in gyms have been like the highest amount of losses he's ever taken in gyms. I don't know if he lost any of the Gen 2 ones. Like, I'm pretty sure he lost to Whitney's Miltank. But I don't really remember the Johto season very much. I didn't really watch that season. He did lose in one gym battle in Hoenn, which was to Brawly, the fighting type gym leader. And I don't think he lost any more after that. In Sinnoh, he lost to Rourke, the rock type specialist. And I don't think... And he also had the first ever tie, which was Maylene, which was also from Sinnoh. But other than that, I don't think he lost any of the other gyms. And then you've got Black and White, which... Oh, God, I don't want to remember the Black and White stuff. I was not a fan of Black and White. But Ash did lose to Lenora. I do know that. I do know that. That was probably like the furthest in X Black and White I actually watched. So it's not a real... So it's not a big deal that Ash... It's not a real like, oh my god, Ash lost. But... yeah, he tends to lose some gyms. He tends to lose maybe the first or second gym. He tends to lose gym battles. But he was very, very stunned by this loss, because Viola's ice field stunned Pikachu, so it couldn't do anything, and the sticky web trapped Fletchling. So Ash was really bummed, he was down, he was sad, and he left his bag behind. Serena hands his bag to him, and Ash doesn't know who this girl is, but Clement and Bonnie tell him that she was just standing by watching the gym battle, and Ash apologizes that he didn't notice her. he ends up saying who his name is, but Serena's like, oh, I know your name. Do you happen to... Before she even got a chance to say anything, she was interrupted by the Pokemon Center telling Ash his Pokemon are fully healed. But eventually, during the training sessions, during training, Serena once again confronts Ash during his training, and she ends up asking him the big question. Do you remember me? And Ash has this confused look on his face as if he doesn't remember. But then Serena tells him to think back to the Professor Oak summer camp. And that's when Ash remembered he remembered she was the girl with the straw hat all those years ago. But unfortunately, he breaks her heart when he says that he doesn't seem to remember her though. And she gets a little bit heartbroken by it, which is pretty wholesome, but she wasn't all that mad about it. Eventually, after training, Ash would successfully get the gym badge. During the episode, give chase at Rhyhorn Racing, Serena explains more about her backstory to Ash on how they met. But she's still a little bit bummed that Ash doesn't remember her. But she doesn't hold a grudge against him. Serena even teaches Ash how to do Rhyhorn Racing, which is pretty cool. Which is also pretty cool. I'm not going to go over the details of every episode, but the point I'm making is that a lot of these episodes have been very, very good. A lot of Team Rocket shenanigans, obviously, because Team Rocket have always got to be a nuisance. But there is some real positives here. They actually do have some episodes where Team Rocket are not a threat at all. And honestly, that's really good. It was actually really nice to see that there was, some breaks with Team Rocket, which, was very well needed. There were, a lot of the older seasons didn't really give us breaks from Team Rocket. It felt like every episode they were involved. X and Y casually sometimes, maybe like an episode or two, would give you a break from Team Rocket from every now and then. But I have to say, the best character in this whole series has to easily be Serena. She's definitely been a great character, and she's just not like your other typical girl in the Pokemon anime. Now, what do I mean by that? Usually the girls in Pokemon, whether if it's Misty or Iris, they'd usually be the grouchy type, the grouchy kind of girl where they seem very bossy. May and Dawn were a little stubborn at the start, but overall they weren't really obnoxious, Like, a lot of the times they tried to make the female character feel like a bratty, ignorant, stuck up, kind of like how they expect a normal girl to actually be. But Serena has never been that way. I have never found an episode, since I've been watching all the episodes, I have not found an episode where Serena just comes off unlikable. She's so endearing, she's so endearing, likable and lovable, to the point where I genuinely really like the character. Bonnie is just Brock. She does the same thing that Brock used to do with women, but instead she's all like, "Look after my big brother." She just wants to give Clement a girlfriend, and Clement is not interested in getting a girlfriend, but she continues to try. So yeah, they pretty much made Bonnie the Brock, basically. in that kind of regard. But Clement loves making the future is now thanks to science. He likes his good old science, and a lot of the times his inventions would explode. A lot of the times his inventions explode. Some do work. Some of them do work, but a lot of the time they fail. Also, they introduced this new thing in X and Y, the Kalos region, called the Pokemon Performance Showcase. It's sort of like contests from Sinnoh and Hoenn, the Ruby and Sapphire and Diamond and Pearl sagas. Like, it's sort of like that, but just a bit different. It's got its similarities. It's got a lot of similarities to it, basically. But instead of earning ribbons, they earn princess keys. This is something that Serena ends up doing. She ends up wanting to do... She wants to follow her dream of being a performancer. A Pokemon performer. So basically, she has to earn 3 princess keys in order to move up to the master class and get a chance to become the Kalos Queen, which apparently that's what the winner gets. They become the Queen of Kalos. So that ends up being her little mission. They end up meeting up with the 3 friends who are in the X and Y games. Shauna, Tiano, and Trevor, who kind of become friendly rivals, but just, yeah, they're not too bad. They're not too bad. They didn't come up. They actually surprisingly did their characters really well. And what I mean by doing their characters really well, I mean like not making them kind of a bit obnoxious and annoying, just genuinely good people. Eventually, Ash also encounters Karina, which her story was also really good. Karina is one of the gym leaders, and her story was really good too. She was on the road of getting to 100 wins, but also, alongside her Lucario, she wants to Mega Evolve it. She wants to Mega Evolve her Lucario. So then that way, she can finally master Mega Evolution, just like her grandfather. Her grandfather has been training her to. But unfortunately, it wasn't so easy. And honestly, I think the episodes really made Karina a very likable character as well, and not a very likable character as well. I mean, like, geez, just a lot of likable characters in X and Y. Like, the only real bad guy kind of characters is, like, kind of obvious when you kind of notice it. But a lot of the times, there's a lot of good characters involved. Especially in the Cave of Trials episode, where Ash, Karina, and friends go to the Cave of Trials to find the Mega Stone for Lucario. One of my favorite scenes from that episode was when an old man offered them a photo, and they all stand together taking photos, and then Serena just slowly nudges herself slowly towards Ash. It's just so like that is just so darn adorable. I know a lot of people say Misty was always Ash's girl, but X and Y has been making it so blatantly obvious that Serena just has a complete crush on Ash, and even Bonnie can already tell. Bonnie can already tell by that, because in one of the episodes she calls Ash dense for not realizing why Serena and her rival, Miette, are fighting for Ash's affection, because Miette teases Serena that she will take Ash for herself. And Serena gets all blushy and all worked up about it. Like, no, Ash is mine, basically. And it's just really darn cute and hilarious. It's really cute and hilarious. Mia ends up being Serena's rival. And honestly, she doesn't come off as that typical rival. She kind of starts off that way, but in the end she becomes very friendly. Wow, another friendly rival. Cool. Now, yes, I complained that Black and White had too many rivals, but to me, when it came to Black and White, they were just like, oh, we gotta give Ash a rival. We gotta give Ash a jerkish rival. We gotta have Silent have a jerkish rival. And then we gotta give Iris a jerkish rival. Like, whenever they give these characters rivals, it feels like the rival are just friendly. You know what I mean? Like, friendly. Ash eventually gets a rival named Sawyer a bit later on in the X and Y series as well. Which is also pretty cool. But I think, by far, out of all the episodes, I've definitely got a lot of favorite ones. One of the episodes was when after Ash got the 4th gym badge. Actually, I should go back to Karina, because I was in the middle of talking about her. I was in the middle of that. Let's get back to that. So Karina's story was really cool. I thought Karina's story was really cool. When she got the Mega Stone, her Lucario started going crazy. Her Lucario started going very ballistic and crazy, and it was not listening to her. Lucario was about to possibly end Pikachu by killing it, but yeah, that ultimately didn't happen, thankfully. But yeah, Karina's Lucario just kind of went ballistic and apeshit. So the Mega Stone Guru, which is her grandfather, orders her to continue her journey to master Mega Evolution. And they eventually do. So that was cool. Ash would go on to defeat the 2nd and the 3rd gym leaders, Grant and Karina, in his first attempts. As I said, he doesn't always lose his gym battles. He sometimes loses them, but not all the time. And now we'll get to the episode I was talking about. After Ash defeated Ramos, which, by the way, I want to tell you guys, that gym battle was so intense, it actually nearly it almost convinced me that Ash could have possibly lost. But in the end, he did win. One of my favorite episodes has to be the episode after that. Gifts Under the Pledging Tree, or something like that. I've forgotten the name of them. I've forgotten the name of it. But Pledging Tree is in the episode title. Basically, Ramos tells them that, hey, you can buy gifts for your Pokemon. It's a tradition every year. So when Ash and Serena decide to go on their own path, while Bonnie and Clement want to create presents their own path, they leave all the Pokemon back with Clement and Bonnie so they can look after them. And I love it how Serena is like, oh my gosh, I'm alone with Ash. It's almost like we're on a date. So she's just so darn endearing. So endearing and adorable. The end of the episode, Ash gets some kind of gift from a shop because he ended up being the 1000th guest visitor. They give him a present. And then by the end of the episode, Ash, with that gift that he got from that store, gives it to Serena at the end of the episode and says, this is for you. This is my gift for you. And she blushes and she thanks Ash by clutching it. Such a wholesome and cute little moment. I love those kind of moments, man. But as I said, that Serena is by far my favorite character and the best character because of her character development. But here's the thing. In the episode Performance Debut, when she makes her debut in the whole Pokemon Showcase performances, I am man enough to admit this episode broke me. Now, what do I mean by broke me? What I mean by broke me, I mean it broke me to the point where I legitimately got very emotional and I got teary-eyed. Yeah. Me crying. What is this? I was so adamant that my older age, I was so stubborn, thinking, oh, me being almost 30 years old, I wouldn't enjoy Pokemon. This episode literally made me so emotional, and it literally made me go teary-eyed, and it was done so perfectly. It was done perfectly, which I guess that's what happens when you invest your time in a character so much that you feel the emotion and you start to feel their pain. Because Serena had been training so hard and practicing for her performance debut. Basically, as I said, the Pokemon showcases are very similar to Pokemon contests, but they're different. They have different categories. They sometimes have different categories. They have the finals is freestyling. Basically, the trainer and their Pokemon will do, contest stuff. Have their Pokemon do moves, try to look pretty, make their Pokemon moves look very, very pretty for the audience to wow the audience. That's usually how contests start off. Contests start off with those kinds of freestyling where the trainer and their Pokemon try to make flashy moves and make things look pretty so then they can move on to the battling round. But this one is different. But this is completely different. The first one, where Serena messes up, was in the rookie division, and she had to dress herself and her Fennekin to look very, very pretty and fashionable for the audience. But unfortunately, her Fennekin, she doesn't realize that the knot that she tied up for Fennekin was too long. And unfortunately, Fennekin steps on it and trips over and falls to the floor. And Serena was utterly embarrassed and humiliated. And unfortunately, she lost and got knocked out. But her friend Shauna would go on to win the whole thing and earn her first key. Serena acts, normal, all civil, trying to hold in her emotions. She congratulates Shauna and all that. She acts all civil and normal about it, as if it was not a big deal that she lost. Ash and all them are sorry that she lost. She's all like, I'm fine. No, I'm all good, I'm fine. But then she finally broke down when no one was around, and it was just her, Pancham and her Fennekin. She finally broke down. She finally broke down and cried and cried and cried. I could not believe how emotionally this was done. Well done. It was so emotionally well done. I could not believe I was feeling the emotion with her. I was crying with her. Like, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous how the Pokemon anime frickin' has made me love it again. When people said X and Y was good, I now am fully on board with it. Man, it is such a it's so fantastic. It's so fantastic, man. It's so fantastic. And it's crazy to me. It's crazy to me how this was so well done that I felt emotion, genuine emotion. It's been so good so far. I've got nothing but positive things to say. There are definitely some episodes that are very skippable and not memorable, but the skippable and not very memorable episodes are easily overshadowed by a lot of good ones. But honestly, it's been fantastic. I have been loving it so far. I never thought I'd be so emotionally invested in the Pokemon anime again. But when people told me X and Y was good, and after spending possibly nearly 30 plus episodes, after watching 30 plus episodes, I can agree with the people that say this season and this series, the X and Y stuff is phenomenal. I am so fully invested. I'm definitely looking forward to watching more. And man, it's fantastic. So, that's the end of this video, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed. Give me your thoughts down below. And I will see you all next time.